She told me it was just a casual dinner with a co-worker, nothing to worry about. Just a colleague and a meal. That's how she said it, like it was no more serious than stopping by the store on the way home. So, I made plans of my own. She didn't see that coming. Let me ask you something. How would you feel if your partner, the one you believed in, the one you trusted completely, casually told you they were going out to dinner with someone else, and expected you to nod and smile and carry on like your heart hadn't just been quietly set on fire? Because that's where I found myself sitting across from the woman I married, the woman I thought I knew, wondering if something precious had just slipped through my fingers. For 6 years, Nathan Hale believed he and Selena were something rare, something real. They weren't just husband and wife, they were a team. He truly thought they had built something unshakable between them. Morning coffee shared in companionable silence, Sunday strolls, plans for a future full of quiet joys and earned peace. He could still remember the night he proposed, how the rain had fallen in soft, silver threads over a quiet pier, the way her hands trembled in his, her voice breaking when she whispered yes. That night had lived in his memory like a sacred thing, a promise sealed in water and warmth. But all of that changed on a Wednesday evening. Over meatloaf and a muted game show humming from the television in the background, he was reaching for the salt when Selena, in a voice so casual it barely registered at first, said, "I'm having dinner with a colleague this Saturday." No pause, no explanation. Just those words, dropped like a stone in the middle of their quiet life. Nathan froze, hands suspended midair. He stared at her, waiting for a smile, a wink, some kind of reveal that this was just a joke. But none came. She simply kept spreading butter across her bread, her eyes lowered, her face unreadable. He swallowed hard, voice steady despite the sudden pressure in his chest. "What do you mean?" Selena finally looked up. There was something calculated in her gaze. Maybe she was waiting for him to erupt. Maybe she wanted a fight. But her voice remained light. "It's just dinner," she said, as if that were enough. "Nothing between us is changing. You know I love you." But Nathan didn't do what she expected. He didn't raise his voice or plead. He simply picked up his glass, took a slow sip of water, and nodded. "All right then." Then, after a quiet beat, he added, "Maybe I'll give that a try, too. See how it feels to share a meal with someone different." That stopped her. She froze, her fork held just before her lips. The silence between them thickened like smoke. "You're seeing someone?" she asked, trying and failing to sound amused. "There's a woman at the gym. We've talked. She seems nice." Nathan replied, tone smooth and even. A flicker of uncertainty crossed Selena's face, the faintest tremble in her fingers. She tried to laugh, but it caught in her throat. "No, I didn't expect that from you." "Interesting," Nathan said with a thin smile. "Why not? Is it serious?" she asked, voice brittle. "Are you actually going to meet her?" He shrugged. "Didn't you say we should be more open, try new things?" Selena had no response. She just sat there, lips parted, stunned into silence. In the days that followed, Nathan began to shift, not in anger, not in drama, but in quiet, decisive ways. He woke up earlier, went for longer runs, started wearing a cologne she didn't recognize. He was still kind, still there, but something about him was steadier, stronger, like a man who'd finally remembered what he was worth. And when Saturday came, Selena stood at the door with her coat half buttoned, hesitation all over her face. "I'm heading out," she murmured, her voice a thread of uncertainty. "I've got plans too," Nathan said without looking up. She hesitated. "With that woman from the gym, maybe." He answered softly. Selena didn't go to her dinner that night. She stayed home, phone in hand, watching the clock, waiting, hoping. At 3:12 a.m., the door opened. Nathan stepped in, calm and composed. He didn't offer an excuse or an apology. "How was your night?" she asked in a whisper. "Fine," he said simply. No more. The next morning, he sat at the table sipping coffee, his movements easy, unbothered. Across from him, Selena watched with eyes that were beginning to panic. She couldn't read him anymore. He felt like a stranger wearing her husband's skin. "Nathan," she whispered, "what's happening to us?" He looked up slowly from his phone. His expression was cold, but not cruel, just final. "You tell me," he said, "isn't this what you wanted?" "I didn't think you'd actually go through with it," she said, voice cracking. He gave a dry, humorless laugh. "And you thought I'd beg you to change your mind? I made a mistake," she whispered, almost to herself. "Yes," Nathan said, his voice ice. "You did. That afternoon." She found the divorce papers on the kitchen table, neatly signed, without a smudge or tear. Nathan was in the bedroom, packing his things, calm, methodical, like a man who had already let go. Selena stood in the doorway, tears streaming freely now. "Nathan, please," she said, voice shaking. "We can fix this. We can start over. Just forgive me." He zipped the suitcase shut and turned to face her, his eyes steady and painfully clear. "I don't need your forgiveness, Selena. I needed honesty. And now I have it." With that, he picked up his keys, walked out the door, and didn't look back. Not once. The silence that followed was deafening. The house felt colder, hollower, like it had been emptied of something essential. Selena never went to dinner with her colleague. She never would. Because the man she believed would always be across from her at the table. The man she thought would never leave was already gone. Not with a fight, not with fury, but with clarity, with dignity, with the kind of quiet that screams the truth you never wanted to hear. So tell me, was Nathan wrong for reclaiming his power? Or did Selena only begin to understand her loss once? The door had already closed for good. Let me know what you think. I read every word. And if this story struck something deep inside you, there are more just like it, raw, real, and unforgettable. Until next time, protect your peace. Don't let anyone treat your loyalty like it's disposable. See you again soon.